I wish that I didn't have to do it, but I was so scared and horrified, but I didn't stop. I didn't stop her.
On the 3rd of January 2016, police would receive a harrowing phone call that would mark the beginning of one of the most bizarre murder cases they had ever seen.
But I was just out walking my dog, and I came across some bones that looked to me to be human. Maybe they're not.
Detectives were almost immediately dispatched to the scene, where they determined the bones were indeed human, but were confronted instantly with the first of many oddities within this case.
We had a majority of the torso area, but we didn't have from the elbows or knees down, and we also did not have the skull.
Only a portion of the body was recovered in this location, sparking immediate confusion and concern. It was obvious that foul play was involved, and you could see saw marks across the bones, proving that whoever it was had been torn apart and dismembered after they were killed. Detectives looked for any leads they could, but even attempts to extract DNA became dead ends as they failed to find any matches. 4 years passed with no developments on the case until all of a sudden the answer became terrifyingly clear. Ryan Zimmerman was a 22-year-old man who had gone missing in 2015, just months before the bones had been discovered. After looking more into Ryan's case, detectives realized they'd made a vital mistake.
But as soon as it came on my radar, that was what I realized: we had never gotten DNA from his family.
Detectives quickly gathered new samples from his family and discovered that the bones discovered 4 years earlier were indeed his. This prompted detectives to look deeper into his case, where they realized that he had been hiding a secret from his family that eventually had led him directly to his death.
He had made a post on Craigslist personals, so he was looking for more of someone to take care of him.
Was he interested in transitioning to being a woman?
He started looking into some of it, such as the hormone therapy. He also would go shopping for different female clothing.
Ryan's social media and internet activity revealed that just a few months before his disappearance, he had met someone online by the name of Corey Buzzard. Ryan moved from his home in Kentucky to Corey's house in Ohio alongside 2 women named Sarah and Nara. Ryan did his best to fit in with the other couple, but found himself often clashing with Nara due to their differing views on who transgender women should portray themselves.
She felt that if you wanted to be a female, you needed to portray yourself as a female and not let anyone else know otherwise.
But for the first month or so, things went fine until in late September, things would start to go drastically wrong for Ryan. Corey broke up with him and told him he had to pack up his things and move out of their shared apartment. Ryan begged Sarah to let him stay, but he was told that he was only there for Corey's purpose and that he needed to leave. But it later turned out that it wasn't that simple. Far from it. The entire time Ryan had been living there, Nara had been developing a fantasy about killing him and decided that his eviction was the perfect time to turn it into a reality. Sarah spent some time talking these through with Nara, originally taking them to be jokes, but allegedly became concerned after she started collecting tools and became more intricate with the plans.
I tried to talk her out of it calmly at first, and then I started getting a little hysterical, and she told me that if I didn't help, that she was going to do it anyway, and that it was going to be a lot messier and a lot harder to get everything done by herself. She said that she would just give me a small role to play, but she would do most of the heavy work.
Sarah goes on to explain that she was extremely concerned but didn't call the police out of love for Nara. She would have felt like a horrible person for ratting someone out that had helped her through so much. In her mind, it was better for her to kill Ryan than to break up with Nara, and so she agreed to team up and help her.
She had a rag that she dipped in bleach, and she had a bottle of vinegar next to her. I guess they had some kind of chemical reaction and released some kind of poisonous gas, I don't really know. So when Ryan came out, I jumped on him from behind. Naira came in and straddled him and then pressed the rag over his face. When he started making these guttural gasping noises, Naira let me get out from under him. I curled up in the office and cried. I wish that I didn't have to do it, but I was so scared and horrified, but I didn't stop. I didn't stop her.
Sarah and Nara then dumped his body into their bathtub, cut away his hands, feet, and head, and then spent the following 3 days disposing of his body across multiple different states. But even before police were aware of this, they were still closing in on Sarah and Nara due to the information found on Ryan's social media. In July, they searched both their apartment and their car and found traces of human blood in both. Sarah was arrested just weeks later, where she made her confession and pleaded guilty. But Nara wouldn't go down as easily. When detectives returned to arrest Nara after Sarah's confession, she rushed to her purse, pulled out a firearm, and took her own life in front of the officers. Sarah was sentenced to life in prison in the conclusion to one of the most bizarre cases we've ever seen.